everybody, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back with another review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Jurassic World Epic Evolution Strike Attack Kaprosuchus. So, yeah, another new species for the Mattel line, just like the Toyangosaurus, and it's one that I've been wanting from Mattel for a while. You know, it's a really awesome prehistoric crocodilian, and I'm just super glad that Mattel finally made it, because this species is like, it feels like it belongs in a Jurassic Park toy line, just because of how cool it looks. So I'm really happy that we finally have this species. But yeah, looking at it in the box, it looks really awesome. I can't wait to take a look at this thing out of the box, because those teeth are looking really gnarly on this thing. But looking at the packaging, it's your same Epic Evolution packaging, at least the Strike Attack packaging that we saw in the last video. And then the only difference is the new environment that it's belonging into, and that is the river environment. So that's, you know, a no-brainer. It makes sense because it's a crocodilian. But you can see the Jurassic World logo on the side, other information back there. And here in the back, you have a really nice render of the figure, looking nice. So it's got a massive chomp, it really does. Strike Attack Kaprosuchus, Epic Evolution, facts up information, and the others in the line. I still need the Kaprosuchus. Hopefully I can find that one somewhere down the line, just because it's a new species and I like to have all the species in my collection. So yeah, that's basically it for this brief rundown of the packaging. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at this figure. Alrighty, so here we have the Kaprosuchus out of the box, and I am really digging this figure. I really do like it a lot. It looked good in the package, but once you have it out of the box, where you can actually just take a look at the full figure, you know, full 360 in all angles, it's a really nice one. You know, I really do like it. I'm super happy to finally have this species, you know, from Mattel in the Jurassic line. You know, this one was bound to be made at some point, so I'm just really glad that we finally got it. It was definitely a really cool looking prehistoric croc, and just, yeah, just everything about it just looks really nice. You know, I love the pose, I love the detail, I love the colors, but you know, let's get a closer look at it. Let's take a look at the most famous part of this figure, also the species, and that's the head. You know, they don't call this the wild boar croc for no reason. You know, look at these gnarly teeth. I mean, it kind of looks like tusks that you would see like on a wild boar or warthogs, hence why they named it Kaprosuchus in the first place. But really cool. The teeth are a bit dramatic on this one. They're a lot longer on this figure, which in person they probably would have been a bit smaller. But hey, it makes it look a lot more gnarly and a lot more threatening, so that's really cool. I really do like the head sculpt. It's like your typical crocodilian face. You can see the nostrils right there, but nice amount of detail on the face right there. Really nice looking. The teeth are just looking awesome, and here on the underside of the head, really nice amount of detail. Mattel does really good with their amount of detail sculpt work, especially on animals that have like crocodilian like scales on it. So as you can see here, really nice detail. Really nice one. And here on the inside of the mouth, it's kind of hard to see, so we'll just go ahead and open it. You know, nice detail, pretty generic, but you know, overall really nicely. Those teeth are like super scary looking. I would hate to run into this thing in real life. They are really cool. The eye paint is a little bit misprinted on mine on both sides, but it's not terrible, especially when it's like a lighter color on a dark body. It's not terrible at all. The teeth are nicely painted though on the face, which is really cool. And I like how they interlock. It's such a really cool looking silhouette, you know, just a cool looking face. And here at pretty much the entire body, you got a nice, you know, sculpt going on here with the ridges and all that, so really nice looking. It's less like a crocodile that you would normally see reconstructions of these guys. This one's kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but the difference, or like at least the difference in design than your classic Kaprosuchus reconstruction, like these cool little ridges on the back, you know, it kind of resembles a crocodile, but it's also really different and unique. That's what makes this one stand out, which is really cool. I really do like the little scoots that stick out right here, and the nice ridges that stick out. So it's like a really sharp looking creature, so that's really cool. Here at the side of the body, it's a lot more smoother. There isn't a whole lot of texture going on, but there is a few pebble stuff poking out here and there. And here on the underside, you got some nice crocodilian-like scales at the bottom, which is a bit more subtle here and not, it doesn't pop like the here on the underside. But yeah, I mean, really cool detail. And here on the limbs, really, you know, crocodilian-like with the way the pattern of the scales go. You got some really large ridges here on the this part of the arm, and then you got some here around the ankle area. So really nice detail overall, and you got some nice muscle definition. And I like how you can transition from like these plates or ridges, whatever, transitions to these pebble-looking scales, or just like your classic crocodilian scales. And then the feet are nicely sculpted as well. But yeah, really nicely sculpted figure overall. I really do like this one a lot. Color-wise, the colors work on this one. I'm always used to Kaprosuchus being like a green color or a brown color or a greenish brown color, as if it was like living in a swamp. But this new like cool toned colors scheme is really nice. It's a fresh new take on this species. You know, I like the darker gray and the lighter blues and this beige color that kind of starts at the lower jaw and kind of sprinkles in. So really nice amount of color on this one. And then obviously the orange eyes stand out as well, and the teeth ultimately stand out with how white they are. And actually, when you look at this one from like afar, it kind of reminds you of the Mattel Prehistoric, the original one that came out, as well as I think one of the Ornithosuchus figures from Kenner that came out. So that's really cool. Here's the scan code for the back in case anyone needs it. The only thing I would say I have a nitpick on this figure is the short tail. The tail, I wish it was a bit longer, but it's not too terrible, but it is a little distracting here and there. But it's not the worst thing in the world. Articulation, the legs here, they cannot pivot in and out, I don't believe. And then they can move only backwards about that far, and then forwards about that far. They're kind of stiff, so do be careful if yours are stiff. And the tail can also rotate, but obviously that's a useless articulation joint. The arms do not move themselves. I guess they could, but I don't want to break it. But that's all part of the action feature, which these are all, they're kind of like the mini versions of the Roar Strikers from the Dominion toy line, where you just push down on their body and it makes them move without having to actually push a button. So that's really cool. But basically, you know, you just press down on it and it opens them out. So a really cool feature. You know, it's a really cool playable feature. You know, kids are going to have fun with this, but also this is going to be cool for display. It's also going to be cool for when making movies. So that's really cool. And it doesn't have to require pushing a button, which, you know, allows less holes or creases on the body itself. So that itself is really cool. And you can just do it without having it hit the ground. So really nice action feature right here. So for for comparisons, here we got the Hammond Collection Owen, which is, you know, the same size as your normal humans, which is, you know, a pretty good size. I don't think it's 100% accurate. I don't think Kaprosuchus was that big. I think it was a bit smaller, but, you know, for the purpose of these toys, I think it works really well here. Alright, so here we have the Kaprosuchus compared with other crocodilian-looking species that Mattel has made. Obviously, I'm not going to compare it with, you know, some of the larger ones, but others that are kind of in the similar, you know, I guess, similar design or look, whatever. But here we have the Prehistoric and the Prehistoric, which they all look really great together. I do believe we're getting another of one of these later this year. I believe it's the Prehistoric, or however you explain it, or pronounce it, I guess. But yeah, we're going to be getting that one. But all these look really nice together. The Prehistoric is actually the smallest one, and the Prehistoric is the biggest one, which is pretty cool, pretty interesting. Which actually makes a lot of sense because this guy was actually pretty big. But it's really cool to see these three type of animals together. You know, you get the Prehistoric with its large action feature, and then this one with the tail feature, and then we got the new Kaprosuchus one. So overall, those three look really nice together. Alrighty, so that's about to wrap it up for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. For my final thoughts, I definitely want to give this Kaprosuchus a 10 out of 10. It's definitely a species I've been wanting Mattel to make for a while, and I'm glad that we finally have it, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. So It's a really cool looking species, and Mattel knocked it out of the park with this one, with the detail, the colors, just the overall sculpt. It's a really great one. I highly recommend picking this one up if you guys can find it. Yeah, just an overall really great one. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again for the next review.